Hey guys, welcome back. This is going to be a little bit tardy, but a little while back there was a tag going around for your top 20 comics or top favorite comics, and our good buddy and our good friend John, Dr. Von Chilla, tagged me for this. Like I say, this is a little bit tardy. It might be a couple of weeks ago that he tagged me for this. Uh, but you know, if you're trying to pick favorite comics. If you could just pick one, for me that's pretty easy. If you want to pick your top 3 to 5, that's pretty easy. But you get that like next 10 or 15, I could probably pick from a couple of hundred, as my last 10 or 15 favorite books. So I'm going to show some stuff that I know I've shown before because as far as absolute favorites, I have to. But there's probably some stuff that you either haven't seen me show or I haven't shown in a while. And like I said, criteria for your favorite books, it can be favorite stories that you just read and reread as a kid, or it might be favorite covers because I really didn't start collecting covers or for artists. Well, I probably started collecting artists at an early age, but as far as like being what my buddy John would call a notorious cover collector. I probably didn't come till later years. But like I say, there are a lot of reasons you collect for your favorite books for the characters or the story that you enjoyed or the covers, or it might just be a certain childhood memory of picking up a book at a corner drugstore or a grocery store or a flea market or something. So there's a little bit of everything then in here. I know there's probably some stuff I haven't shown. But it's a little bit of everything. Like it might be a little DC heavy, but I threw some other stuff in there too. One thing, this is one of my favorite stories. This is fairly recent. This is a hardback DC put out. I'm not sure what year it was. Let me look. Probably, yeah, this was around 2000. But this was by Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely, JLA Earth 2. Going against one of my favorite teams, the Crime Syndicate, and I just love Frank Quitely's artwork. He got some more stuff on the back, but this is just a great story. And anybody that's a fan of the Justice League or the Crime Syndicate or Grant Morrison or Frank Quitely, I mean, this is just a great story. So I would highly recommend this. Like I say, a lot of the criteria for this is stuff that I know I have reread and I really enjoy. So that's one. This one here, I might have shown it, but it's been a while. But this is a title that I became interested in after reading an article in, I think, Comic Book Marketplace, and I just love the covers and I love the premise of it. But this is Kona, Monarch of Monster Isle, number 14. I'm sorry about the glare. But actually, like a lot of Dale stuff, it started out like in Dale 4 color. I think it was number 1256 was actually the first appearance of Kona, and I think he had black hair on that cover. But with issue, of course, they started the regular series, and issue 2 was actually the first official title, but from like the first appearance to like issue maybe 15 or 16, there were all these great painted covers, and this is one of my favorites. Sorry, it's the glare is so bad, but I'm right under a light fixture here, so. But Kona, Monarch of Monster Isle, number 14. Another one from Silver Age. This was on my Grail list for a long time because I'm a big fan of Curt Swan and Adventure Comics and the Legion of Superheroes. So this was the first issue that they actually had their first ongoing series. So this is Adventure Comics 300. Great Curt Swan cover. I know with the Legion, there's a lot of people that love the Legion, and a lot of people just don't care, But I was always a big Legion of Superheroes fan. And this was always a book that was on my Grail list, and I'm trying to get all the of the run from 300 to 380, and especially the Curt Swan issues. So, nice little Silver Age book. some Marvel here. Marvel Superheroes number 12. First appearance of Captain Marvel. Nice little square bound book. The binding on this one looks pretty nice. Fairly high grade. And somewhat of a key issue. First appearance of Captain Marvel. Iron Man Submariner number 1. That great Gene Colan cover. Like I say, sorry about the glare, but not sure if I had shown this one before. Avengers number 9. I always love this story. This is an upgrade from my original copy. I think the original I had is pretty beat up, and it came out of a steamer trunk that belonged to my cousin when I was a kid. A great Jack Kirby cover. A key issue, first appearance of Wonder Man. Can't do a video without throwing a little Charlton in here. This is my buddy Steve. Charlton 66, Beyond the Grave number 1. Great Tom Sutton cover. I just love this book. Like I say, really sorry about the glare, but it's either like dim lighting or too much lighting. I don't know. Anyway, I kind of hope that you can see the gist of that. The classic cover. One of my favorite Spider-Man stories. Spider-Man number 33. That great Ditko cover. Kind of an iconic image in Marvel's Silver Age. Justice League of America 73. With one of the few Joe Kubert covers in that title. Featuring the Justice Society. You have the Golden Age Superman and the rest of the JSA. Really love this two-parter. I always kind of like seeing you know Joe Kubert mostly for the war titles, and I just love seeing Kubert stuff on something that wasn't war oriented. So I'm really fond of this cover. Marvel Spotlight number 2, first appearance of Werewolf by Night. Great Neil Adams cover. You can see it for the glare. Some more Charlton. Fantastic Giants number 24. This is another one of those books that I first saw in my cousin's steamer trunk when I was a kid, and I've still got that copy. It's pretty mangled up, but this is a little higher grade copy than the original I had, and it's all Steve Ditko, so nothing not to love about this book. And also, one of those square bound books that I love so much. Lots of great Steve Ditko goodness crammed into this one. And I just showed this recently. Justice League of America 114. My first 100-pager. My first JLA JSA crossover. Got a great Nick Cardy cover. And my favorite issue of Shazam. This was a favorite of mine from a kid. And I've told this story before, but I bought this book and Superboy and the Legion 197 and Batman 251 with the iconic Joker cover. These are all in a 3-pack for 59 cents. But I always loved this book. Love the stories, and there's actually an appearance by Archie and Edith Bunker in one of these stories, so it's kind of a cool book. And can't do a video without showing some Commandy, one of my favorite Commandy issues, number 32. It was the only square bound giant size in the series. Reprinted issue 1 plus a new story. Had a little bio of Jack Kirby, and it shows a map of Earth AD after disaster in this issue. Another really cool square bound book. This is one of my nicer copies. I probably got 6 or 7 of these. I just love this book, and anytime I can find one in a decent grade, I'll pick it up. Some more Charlton. This is another one I have multiple copies of. I just love the cover. This is an all Steve Ditko special. Haunted #1. I think I've seen this book in some of Captain Strangelife's earlier videos. But just a great package. I just love the design and the white background. Another Commandy book, #29. The Legend, the unofficial Superman X-Over. But a really cool story. I was really excited when I saw this one on the stands, expecting to see Superman. But you know, for those of you who haven't read this, I won't spoil it. But a really cool story, Jack Kirby goodness. Some more Charlton. As much as I love Tom Sutton, this is probably one of my favorite Charlton covers. That's by Joe Staton. E-Man #4. City in the Sand. Just really love that whole composition and kind of the swirling sand type thing. Really cool series too. And I would say this probably has to be my all-time favorite Marvel book in my collection. I had an issue of this when I was probably 10 or 11 years old and didn't have a cover on it, and I think one or two of the pages were missing, but I just read that thing till I wore it out. And then I saw this cover years later when I kind of started getting into collecting covers, and especially the picture frame covers. I was like, oh, wow, that's cool. And I found out this was the same issue. So we have Marvel Team Up #3. Beautiful Gil Kane picture frame cover. Spider-Man, Human Torch, and Morbius. Sorry about the glare. But there's nothing wrong with this, and there's a little bit of discoloration or like an ink overspray at the bottom of this one. Otherwise, it's a pretty nice copy. And my favorite comic book of all time. I said my best copy, but I'm sure you've seen this one before. Commandy 18, The Eater. Just absolutely love this book. I love this cover. Love the story. You know, just something about it. One of my first Commandy books. But I would have to say my all-time favorite comic book. Now, maybe some stuff I haven't shown before. Just because I like the stories or I love the covers. It's always one or the other. Strange Adventures 217. With a really cool Neal Adams Strange cover. I think when Neal Adams was like trying to get into DC Comics, I think he actually submitted some Adam Strange artwork. So would have been really cool to see him draw a series of this. And some more Neal Adams from a Silver/Bronze Age title that I absolutely love. Except for maybe a couple issues, they were all reprints. From Beyond the Unknown, #3. When Earth Turned into a Comet. Love the story, love the cover. Just a great little sci-fi anthology series. Some more Justice League. I love this because this was one of my favorite JLA JSA team-ups. This was like part 2 of 3. I'm not sure. This might be an Al Milgrom cover. But it's one of the few times you get to see the Golden Age Batman on the cover of Justice League, fighting the Golden Age, or Earth 2 Joker. You see the Earth 2 Robin and Hawkman back here. One of my favorite JLAs. Another Beyond the Unknown. This issue #1. This beautiful Joe Kubert cover. Sorry about the glare, but you know, it's either too much light or not enough. I need to find the perfect lighting situation. but I really loved this cover. And more Joe Kubert. I think I showed this a few months ago, but when they restarted the Mystery in Space title, this was the first issue. Got a great Joe Kubert sci-fi cover. And it's got the art by Jim Aparo, Marshall Rogers, Steve Ditko, and Dan Spiegel. I think the Marshall Rogers story I've kind of recommended to some people in this. It's called Viewpoints. You know, and like I said, these stories are short. They're probably, you know, maybe 4 to 6, 8 pages. But that is really a really cool little sci-fi story in there. Marshall Rogers. Some more Charlton goodness. And this is another all Steve Ditko special. This magazine is Haunted, number 12. Got a great cover on it. Sorry about the glare again. But anyway, might be better back here. I don't know. Nope. Anyway, this is one of those books that was on my list for a long time, and I finally found a pretty decent copy. This is probably a very good VG find, maybe. Another favorite Justice League cover and story, number 122. It's one of the only two covers that Mike Grell did for the Justice League. Got several copies of this, and the little vignettes, the heads up here, those are all done by Neil Adams, and the rest of it's all Mike Grell. And this is one of those stories that they did back in the 70s. Like every so often, they would do like a story from the past and call it a tale from the JLA casebook. And this is the one where they all found out each other's secret identities, and or else told them to each other. But I think they fought Dr. Light in this story. Another favorite book. Okay, got a few more. Couldn't do this without throwing a Planet of the Apes in here. It's the first issue of the Marvel Mag. Was really happy to complete this run a few years ago. Some of those later issues had low distribution. They were really hard to find, at least at a decent price. But you know, I probably got multiple copies of almost all of them now. But just a great package. You got they serialized the first two movies in the back of these mags, and in the front, they got an ongoing series called Terror on the Planet of the Apes. Had great Mike Klug art. Later on, you had the Future History Chronicles serial that Tom Sutton, to me, did his best work on. And I'd like to pull all these out and discuss that before too long. But for a Planet of the Apes fan, this is a dream come true. A couple Slab books. This one I actually sent off to CBCS a few years ago because it was a really nice grade, and I was actually kind of pleased with the grade they gave it. This is Justice League of America 58, 80-page giant, number 41, G41 up here. One of these great square-bound books. You got an advertisement for a Tarzan model on the back. It's a really nice grade, 8.5, and it reprints issue 1, issue 6, and issue 8 of Justice League. So I've got a reader copy of this somewhere, but this one's a pretty nice grade. And another Slab book, the first DC 100 pager, number 4. This is like a 5.0. Front looks really great. The only thing that makes it a 5 is there's some little issues down here. But I'm sure everybody recognizes this. A great Bernie Wrightson cover from 1971. Really nice book. I think it's all reprints, like mystery reprints from like the late 50s, early 60s. But still a A great book. Okay, now this is I got this probably about 7 or 8 years ago, and I just love the story. But this is the hardback slipcase absolute edition of Crisis on Infinite Earths. And here you have the cover of this was done by George Perez and Alex Ross. Most of you already seen. I've got this poster in the man cave there. I think there's like maybe 560 some characters on this, but it's a really nice package. It's got the new cover by Perez at that time. It came out. In a lot of ways, I really looked forward to this story back in '85. In a lot of ways, after I read it, it was like, you know, one of my all-time favorite stories, and one of the worst stories in a way, because, you know, so many characters got killed and things got changed so much, and but still a great story in itself. And like I say, just gorgeous George Perez artwork. You know, I think Dick Giordano and Jerry Ordway did a lot of the inking in it. But just a nice little package, and it probably of just as much value to me and enjoyment was Crisis on Infinite Earths Compendium. And this kind of showed just like some behind the scenes stuff, how they got it started. There's like pictures. You have George Perez and Jerry Ordway there. You have got Frank Miller and Jack Kirby down here, and George Perez. It just kind of tells you, and at that time they would go through and like name every Earth that was ever in the multiverse at that time, and it lists all the Crisis crossovers, which is another little side project I'm working on. Crisis Aftermath stories. Just a lot of good stuff. If you're a fan of Crisis and these big crossovers, and like I say, I probably enjoyed this book just as much as I did. There's just so much information in this about you know, the multiverse at that time in DC, and all the different Earths and characters, and possible storylines, and characters that they were going to kill and didn't kill, and but the whole thing was right from the start they wanted to kill Supergirl and Flash, so they succeeded for a little while until they brought them back. Last two I have here, these are on my wall. I know you guys have seen these. Superman 233, signed, I got this autographed by Neil Adams. My good friend Tom, Hippie's Collectibles, we did a little trade, and he got some books signed for me by Neil Adams. So that was one of those. And last thing I have to show, this is another book that was on my Grail list for a while, and another wall book, but Batman 227 with that great homage cover to the old detective issue. Just a very cool book. Okay, guys, like I say, that's more than 20. It's probably more like 30 or 35, but you know, just thought I'd show some stuff that maybe I hadn't shown before, and shown some of my favorites too, so I just thought I'd mix it up a little bit. Hope you enjoyed watching as much as I did showing it. Sorry it's going to run close to 25 minutes, but hope for you guys stuck around for it. Anyway, appreciate all the comments and questions, and want to give a big shout out to everybody in the community, and hope you're having a great week. Onward and upward.